have another story for you that the mainstream news media decided not to cover. Before I get into that, if you see any strange ears popping up or any noises, it's Starbuck. He insisted on joining me today. He's been really needy. Okay. Anyway, in New York City, 2 gay men were thrown out of an Uber vehicle by a Muslim driver. They hugged in the back seat. Again, this is New York City, not like Saudi Arabia or Iran. New York City. 2 gay guys hugged in the back seat, and then the Muslim driver just went crazy. He starts screaming a bunch of slurs that I can't even say in this video. And then he said that they would be executed or beheaded where he comes from, in his country. The implication, of course, is that that's a good thing. Right? That we need to fix that so that they're beheaded in our country too. Yeah. Then, one of the gay guys tries to get out of the car. Obviously. So he's halfway out of the car, doors open, foot on the ground. Then, the Muslim driver decides he's gonna gun it. He's gonna put his foot on the gas, with the guy dragging halfway out of the vehicle. So, essentially, the Muslim driver is assaulting him at this point, for no reason. I mean, seriously, they just hugged in the back seat. The point here, though, is, you probably haven't heard this story. But imagine the news coverage if the driver was, say, Christian. You wouldn't have just heard this story once, you would have heard this story everywhere. And maybe for weeks, or for months. And we all know this. There have been people calling for hate crime charges. And I don't believe in hate crime charges, by the way. I think a person should just be charged based upon what they actually do, not their secret motivations. But regardless, that's a story for a different time. There would be widespread outrage that you'd hear about everywhere. Because this guy is a Muslim, you don't hear a word. Regardless of how audacious the event is. And the point here is, you see, when you look at this, if you had a Christian, let's say, who behaved in the same manner, who thought that it should behead, well, he would be doing so in disregard of his faith. Because as the Christ at no point said, you should behead the homosexuals. It acknowledges that homosexuality is a sin, but it never says, kill them. Well, Muhammad in the Quran did, in fact, say kill them. So when a Muslim does it, he's doing it because of his faith. He's being a good Muslim. Like, there are plenty of Christians or self-professed Christians who've done plenty of bad things. The thing is, when they do those bad things, they're doing so in disregard of their faith. This is the difference, and it's crucial, and I hope that everyone can get this. But when Muslims do things like behead over in, say, Saudi Arabia or Iran, or any of the different Muslim countries that currently execute homosexuals, they're doing it in accordance with their faith because of it. And that's why you've got stuff like, you may not have heard about this, but over in Syria, a bunch of Muslims have been using apps, for their smartphones, to lure gay men to their deaths. See, they'll pretend to be someone they're not. They'll pretend to be some random gay guy, and some actual gay guy will respond, and then they'll meet up in some public place, and then the actual gay guy will be publicly executed. And it'll be filmed, and it'll be used as a propaganda piece by ISIS. This sort of stuff is actually happening over there. It's unreal and scary, but what's worse is, this is now happening in France. The exact same thing. A bunch of Muslim men have now been arrested in France for trying to do this, for using gay apps like Grindr and so on, to try and imitate gay people, to try and lure them to their deaths. In a recent case, they were pretending to be this, white, gay, blonde guy, and the victim, or one of the potential victims, only found out due to a hunch. You see, he gets on the phone call with this Muslim, and the Muslim guy is asking him for his address, and he's being too forceful. See, this gay guy wants to meet somewhere else, and because he doesn't know. It's like if you were to meet a person on Craigslist or something for a date, you may not want to invite them to your house just yet until you find out if they're crazy. Well, this guy was aggressive. He wanted the address. So the gay guy called the police, said that something's wrong. Doesn't know what it is, but something's wrong. It's a hunch. That's it. Police show up to the Muslim guy, find out he's got this ISIS ring on his finger, which is kind of a giveaway. And then there are a bunch of chat logs about how they're planning on executing a bunch of gay people. They're essentially planning on becoming serial killers. But this story hasn't been covered anywhere. And again, this is France. You see, it's important to bear in mind, this is in what we consider to be, typically, a civilized country. But when you import, people from that part of the world that think that's okay, again, Saudi Arabia, Iran, these different countries, that's what you get. You import their belief systems. You import those people, the very same people who are doing that over there. And they think it's fine to do it here too, because that's literally their belief system. So, well, why wouldn't it be okay? And this isn't being covered, but it should be. In fact, I think that it's fair to say that homosexuals are probably the group that will suffer most as Islam, arrives in the West. And that's been happening. If you really look at the different instances, there have been a massive rise in different, say, homosexual attacks in places in Europe where you've got mass immigration from the Middle East. It's not surprising, or at least it shouldn't be, but it's not being covered appropriately. I guess it's kind of like the social justice triangle. Once again, Muslims are at the top, homosexuals are way further down. Yeah. Alright, well, if you like this video, please like it, and most importantly, share it. I need your help getting the word out. Also, subscribe and hit the bell. I've got a link in the description that'll provide you with better ways to be notified of new videos. I've also got another link that'll provide you ways to support me and the production of these videos. Thank you so much to those who have already. Take care. Bye-bye.
Check out our official products at our home site, healthwise.org. We have been helping people to live better and healthier lives for a decade. Our products tend to be more effective than other products, as they work with nature instead of against it. We recommend our colloidal copper lotion, which is our flagship product, or everyone's favorite, the dental cleanser. Thank you for listening and for your support.